What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of CMRadio, my weekly podcast that I release every single Saturday on SoundCloud at 5 p.m. So if you're watching this on SoundCloud, first of all, as always, thank you for the listen. I do appreciate it. But if you're like me and you want to consume your podcast in a visual format, it's going to be over and uploaded on my YouTube channel at 6 p.m. on Mondays, and that's with every podcast. So,
first of all, we're going to work out how we watch stuff on SoundCloud.
I always say that. I always make this mistake. So if you want to watch these podcasts and you're new to it and you want to catch up, head over to my YouTube channel. They'll be in a playlist that you can watch. If not, and you want to listen to them, maybe you're commuting, by all means, do so. They are going to be on the SoundCloud profile somewhere. Go look for them. But this week, again, I'm joined with Carl, who is going to be a sort of a regular co-host on this weekly podcast to keep things moving in an entertaining fashion. Now, the last few weeks we've spoken about a lot of nutrition and a lot of sort of mentality-based views on and approaches onto fitness. What we want to talk about today is basically you've got your gym membership, you've joined a gym, now what? What's next? Because a lot of people, especially me when I first started as well, struggled with this. I had my gym membership, but I didn't know what I was training. I didn't know when I was going to train it. I didn't know what training splits were. I didn't know what compound and isolation exercises were. I didn't realise the importance of progressive overload. I just thought if I go in and train everything once a week, that would be more than enough. Fast forward 5 years, and now I know a lot better, and I've been able to teach people a lot more as well. And that's where Carl comes in, because he's done the exact same thing. Started off the gym as a fat fuck, and now he's relatively skinny. You're not lean, you're just skinny. I'm joking. He's lost a lot of weight. But I've been able to teach these people and sort of give my views on it and my advice onto it. So now we're going to come from a point of view from someone who has done it, knows about it, and can teach it, and from someone who is still going through learning everything. Shit. So we're going to start off with sort of what is the first step. So you've got your gym membership and you wanted to go to the gym. Well, what's next? So
for us, again, from personal experience with me, it was, I didn't think back then to even, I wouldn't even consider YouTubing anything. It was one of those where, I had a friend who was already into the gym, gave me kind of I dare say an induction as such. He came with me for an hour or so, showed me what the machines did, and that was about it. It was literally that, showed me what the machines did. Now, not be funny, the picture on each of the machines can pretty much show you what they do. Wasn't aware of like push-pull leg splits or anything like that. Wasn't aware of any compound or isolations. It was literally just myself and my friend. We would turn up and it would be whatever was free. I mean, it was by recognition, it would be okay, well, that's a row machine, so we'd use that, and maybe that as a bicep machine, so we'd use that.
But it's not what the purpose with them.
Exactly that. I mean, it was just a case of it was able to recognise what the machine was. So that was an incline chest press. So it was okay, cool. We'll start at a lightweight, do 10, and all we did was just keep increasing the weight and increasing the weight and increasing the weight and increasing the weight until it was a pyramid. You couldn't lift any heavier, and it wasn't like it was a set rep range or anything like that. It was just kind of like, if I did 8, he'd try to do 9, and then
outdo each other, which is good, but you need structure.
It was good, but like I say, we'd be throwing legs in on the same day as, I'll say, chest.
You can do that, by the way. You can, but in the context that he's talking about, it was throwing it in because of the lack of knowledge and lack of structure.
Like I said, there was literally no structure. Every single day would be turn up and just
do it
and do what was there. And we'd go. The legs pretty much every day would be legs, because the leg machines were the leg machine was always free. Cardio was every day.
No idea of recovery times.
Shit,
or rest times.
So I said to you the other day, we look back, I never once warmed up. Never once did we warm up with any degree of, whether it be even just walking on a treadmill or physically doing any stretches. We'd go straight into it, like leg presses and shit. It's crazy what we used to do, and I look back now, it's like, how the fuck I didn't injure myself?
Yeah, it's mad.
I've done more injuries with warming up than I ever did with not warming up.
That's not making warming up
no.
idea.
It's definitely a good
when
idea.
When he started warming up, he was fucking training properly. So.
Yeah, obviously, but I was saying, going back then, we didn't do anything was better than doing nothing. But looking back to how I used to train, to how how more constructive it is training these days. Obviously, everything is 1,000 times better now.
Yeah, man.
And obviously,
It's like if I said to you, like, on our back training days, we have a specific wide and close grip, a wide and thickness back session. So one session will be focusing on like the width, so like lats, and the other side, the other one will be focusing on fib. It's almost like me saying, well, you never knew what the difference between them.
No, it would have been.
Can you list me like 2 exercises for width and 2 for thickness?
Whereas in back then, it would have just been when I first started, because I didn't. I mean, like I said, I had my gym membership.
I was expecting an answer to that question as well. To be fair,
up. But it was like
live on fucking Instagram TV on YouTube. Like, you know what you're talking about now.
Oh, shut up!
But you just pied the question of, can you name me 2 exercises that will help width in your back, or help?
Let's hope so.
Go on then.
What for width?
Yeah.
Lat
for width.
pull down using obviously a wider bar. You've got for depth, for thickness, you've got rows.
Yeah,
put me on
go.
the spot
There
like that.
He knows it though. He knows it.
Hoping I'd fuck up.
No, I was hoping you get it right, so I can be like,
enough.
my knowledge is right.
His knowledge is right.
It's for my own self, like, I'm better than myself. I'm better than you.
but it's like, but again, going back to the what I did next,
I'm
was
better than most of you.
He's talking bullshit. He's good at that.
Just not in height.
Yeah.
That's what I'm good at. I give you my trait.
I'm good at being short.
Chat shit. Don't listen to my podcast. It's just pure bro science.
Oh, mate, no, we ain't that bad. But
we do our research.
We do like that. But again, from an aspect of what I did next, it was a case of I had my gym membership and we just turned up. It was as simple as that. We turned up. There was no structure. There was no knowledge. I could have done myself some serious fucking injury.
So let's start about like what's first then. Training split. The first thing I would do when I've got my gym membership, I would work out what training split I'm going to be on, because this is going to determine whether you want to train high volume or high frequency. Now, the difference between them both is a high volume training program will be training every muscle group once, maybe 1.5 times a week, but your workouts will be a lot longer and you'll do more sets and more reps. A high frequency training program, which is something that, well, we used to do both. We've done a arms, legs, push, pull routine where we trained 4 times a week, and then that was it. And that's where we trained everything once a week, but it was high volume of everything. So it was like 4 or 5 chest exercises at like 6 or 7 sets every exercise, apart from the compounds. Whereas a high frequency training program, which is what we're on now, we're training more, but it's less exercise selection and less sets. So it's like maybe 4 chest exercises. Occasionally we will go high volume.
It's usually about 4 to 5 is a usual.
And it's like 4 sets of everything, but 3 for the compound movement. But like there is like the further you get down, like this is now like your 2nd year into training. This is my 5th. There is a point now where we can train high volume and high frequency to an extent without causing metabolic stress on our body, which is just an overtraining essentially. So first of all, get your training split sorted out. So this could change because of work, because of lifestyle, because of like kids, families. So if you can only train 3 times a week, you've got a few different training splits, like a push-pull legs, where on a push day, chest, triceps, and shoulders, pull day, back, biceps, and then on legs day, legs and abs. You train everything once a week. That's your chest, biceps, shoulders, back, the whole of your back, your biceps, don't know if I said that, your legs and your abs trained. That's everything trained in the space of 3 days. You've also got an upper, lower, upper split where you could split half your upper body into one upper body day. Then your lower body could cover everything to do with like your legs, glutes, everything. And then your second upper body day would be covered what wasn't covered on the first upper body day. And then this could also translate into a 4-day split, which is like what we did, where you could do an arms push or an arms, chest, back, and legs day, where again you put into them days your specific muscle groups. But then you've got like frequency training, which is like training 6 times a week, which is we do a legs push pull split. But we do a weird variation of it where we haven't started it yet, but we're going to, where we train our shoulders on our back just so we can focus more on our chest press, our bench press on our push days, without taking away from that with the shoulder press. Now getting your trainer days is very important because it will determine what split you're going to be on. So just like take a look at your life. If you can do, I would aim for at least training everything once a week. If you can get away with a 4-day training split where you can do like an upper lower, and you can train everything 1.5 times a week, perfect. But first of all, that would be my point of call.
Yeah.
Look at my schedule, look at my work life.
Look at what free time you physically got, because obviously...
And look at what time you want to commit to the gym. I mean, you have a family, a full-time job, yet you still train 6, even 7... What was it, when I came back from America?
15 days straight.
We would train 15 days straight, and we went into the gym one day to do legs, and it was like...
We managed to warm up, and we were like, fuck it, we're going out for breakfast.
We've trained 15 days in a row, 2.5 weeks. Let's go get some breakfast. We weren't feeling the workout, so we went. But it's like, what time do you want to dedicate? What time can you actually dedicate? Will give you what training split you're going to do.
For me, there was nothing worse than... From aspect of who I was training with, it was a kind of everything was on the clock with the guy I was with. It was like he'd only want to be in there for 1 hour, and it was like exactly 1 hour, and he to the point of view where you could see him clock watching. It's just like
that's almost unmotivating for me.
Yeah, exactly. Like I say, it's
almost like every time. Well, why every time you go on your phone at the gym, I'm always like, get off your phone.
Or when you're sitting there Instagramming everything at the gym.
Well, there's a difference between me actually Instagramming and then you sitting on your phone messaging fucking people about memes or dogs and shit.
Memes. But always about memes. But the point is, it's like, that for me, that was really unmotivational because obviously I wanted to get in there and I wanted to get my shit done. Now, I'm not being funny.
We're almost on a time constraint as we train at the moment, though, aren't we?
Yeah,
because we both have work at like 7, 8 o'clock.
But rather than going in at 6 and going, we've got to be out at 7, at least we go, right, we'll get in there for 10 to 5 o'clock. It never takes us more than 2 hours to get our shit done unless it's been...
Unless yesterday, where it was legs and it took us an hour and a half to just do 3 sets of squats with some warm-ups. But it's like even on days like that where we are time constricted, we still end up pushing over if we need to.
But we're not sacrificing our workout for time. And it's like, it wasn't as though... Because the way I always say, if I've got to be leaving the gym at 7 to get to work, and I think, shit, I need an extra half hour, I don't cut my session short.
Super set.
Or get the fuck in there half an hour earlier. Create the fucking time. But with him, it was almost it was always like, I've got 1 hour and I've got to be home. So by the time you've parked up, walked into the gym, got changed, done it. I mean, we didn't warm up then, but even if you did a 5-minute fucking warm up,
we can understand why now.
You've lost 20 fucking minutes of your gym session. Then you go, well, hang on, 10 minutes walking back to car and that. So you're only actually in there for 40 minutes. We used to do fuck all in comparison to what we do now. Did fuck all back then.
Yeah.
But it's just making sure... Cheers.
Thank you, Mr. Mailman. Was that Mailman? What was that?
I think it's a leaflet, man.
Oh, thank you, leaflet, man.
I don't want pizza. Fuck off. I don't want pizza for India.
Man, what day is it? It's Friday.
It's not pizza day.
It's 2 for Tuesday, isn't it?
Shit. But yeah, like I say, it's just making sure that the time you can commit is... It's going to be an amount of time that you can... afford to give away, if you will.
Yeah.
But make sure that you're getting the most from that time. Don't just go, well, I go to gym an hour a day. But then you take into your actual real time of what it's going to be.
Yeah, like, don't say you're going to do 6 days a week and then go into the gym. Like, don't say you're going to do 6 days a week, but you can only do 4, but you're going to go in every other day, but you're just going to half-ass it. Yeah. Like, realistically, it doesn't matter if you're putting in 3 days a week, 2 days a week, or 1 day a week. As long as you can go in there and commit to it. Yeah, go in there.
That's what I was looking for. It's making sure that if you're going to commit to a gym regime or routine, or however you want to put it, if you're going to go in with a flexible time constraint. Don't go and go, well, I've got 1 hour exactly, because what you're going to end up doing is in your own head, as I did, everything was unmotivational because it was, I understand that I've got 5 minutes to do this, and I've got 5 minutes to warm up.
It is almost, yeah.
It's taking the enjoyment out of it. Whereas if you go, okay, well, look, like for me, I've got a back session today on my own. It's like, I know it will take me around and about an hour. So I know I've got be in the gym for about 1:15 because I've got to pick my son up at 3. Now, I've just said it will take me an hour, but I'm allowing an hour and 45. It's because I'm going to get in there. I'm going to be fucking unmotivational and pissed off today because I haven't got more wireless earphones with me. So I'm going to sit there and it's going to feel like it's going to be taxing and draining. I'm going to have to push through and do it, but it's going to take me longer. So rather than getting in there at 2 o'clock and going, well, I've got an hour, then an hour's time going, well, actually, it's taking me longer than I thought, fuck it, I've got to cut my session short. Get in there earlier. Plan for
the mistakes. Plan for some shit.
Fail to prepare and prepare
plan
to fail.
Plan, yeah.
And then when you get it, throw the plan away. Yeah. Plan goes out the window as soon as you're in there.
That's on DC Legends of Tomorrow. Leonard Starr always says that.
Yeah, isn't it?
What's the 3 steps of a plan? Plan, make a backup plan, throw the plan away. So So you've got your plan. What next? What are you going to put into these training days? So we're going to take a push-pull. So we're going to say you can train 3 times a week and you've got a push-pull legs routine. What do you put in these days? So as we've said, your push day is going to consist of chest, triceps, and shoulders. Now this is where you need to understand major muscle groups and minor muscle groups. So your major muscle groups are your chest, back, and your legs. These are the bigger muscle groups that require a lot more work, and these are the muscle groups that are going to be specifically targeted by compound exercises like a bench press for your chest. You've got stuff like a deadlift for your back and somewhat legs, or if you want to go specifically for back, you've got rack pulls. And then for legs, you've got your squats. So, and then you've got your minor muscle groups, which are like your biceps, your triceps, your deltoids, and your abs. So these are the muscle groups that are going to be targeted by isolation exercises, which are just exercises like your bicep curls, your tricep push downs, your tricep dips, your ab crunches, your side lateral raises. So I think with you as well, you can take this one because you've learnt a lot in terms of structuring your workouts to efficiently benefit you, and starting your workouts off with a compound movement rather than going into a bench press halfway through.
Obviously with me, for me mainly, obviously getting compound straight out of the way. So obviously my bench is atrocious. So for me, it's obviously my choice of my weapon of choice is dumbbell incline.
Yeah,
fucking absolutely love it. It's increasing nicely. My bench just felt stagnant. It wasn't going anywhere, and it was just a compound that I struggled with, and it wasn't beneficial for me to continue with it not progressing anywhere, and it would fuck my whole gym session up because I could go in 1 week and get the sets I wanted, but the weight would never increase, and then I could come in 2-3 days later or 3 days later and do it again, and I'd be nowhere near where I was 3 days before.
Yeah, so and that's almost
it
like
would fucking ruin me.
Yeah,
and that was it. Motivation was gone. Want to be in the gym was gone.
Yeah.
So and then we changed.
So that's also trial and error. Like
man,
some of these exercises you're not going to be good at. Some of these exercises I'm not going to be good at. You're not good at barbell bench press, but you're good at sumo deadlifts. I'm shit at sumo deadlifts, but I fucking love the bench press. But like, if you're going into any workout, start off with your compound movements first. They require the most muscle groups. They require the most amount of energy spent. They are very taxing. They are the exercises you can go heaviest on. So your squat, deadlift, and bench, you can lift the most weight. I couldn't
imagine squatting halfway through a fucking session.
Yeah,
at the end
people
of the session.
do it. They get used to it. But I would always prioritize it. But that's why like you would always go a lot heavier. We're talking maybe 3 sets of 8 reps is what we do for our compound movements. And we start off with them. We do 3 warm-up sets leading up to our working set. Again, your weight is going to be based on you and what you can handle. So what I would recommend is start with your compound movement anywhere from 3 to 4 sets for 8 to 10 reps. Completely up to you is what I would say. Now, week to week, you want to be aiming to improve this, and same with any other exercise. I mainly aim to improve my compound movements because then my isolations are going to automatically come up with that. So whether that's adding on extra reps or getting those extra reps or adding an extra set in. So for example, if you're doing 3 sets of 8 consistently, take up to 3 sets of 9, then maybe 3 sets of 10, and then up the weight, and then go back to 3 sets of 8, and then 3 sets of 9. And then that way, that's essentially how muscle growth works, and that's how progressive overload works, and how just progression in the gym works. You need to be making sure you are doing better this week than you are last week. So your days will consist of, how would you structure a push-pull leg split? Like just exercises. So your push day, what exercises you're doing a high volume training program. So what 4 exercises would you have for your chest, and what order would you put them in?
For me, for chest, my go-tos on chest is I'm quite simple. I love it. So from chest for me will be incline dumbbell press. Will be my compound movement. Straight away, get it done, dusting out of the way, because for me, that's going to be the most, especially with my shoulders, the most taxing thing for me. I wouldn't want to attempt to do that last.
Yep.
For me, from there, it will be going to, landmine press, is one of the ones I absolutely fucking love. I find it so beneficial. The activation I get off it is great. And again, for us, dumbbell flies with incline push-ups.
Super set in, that's really good.
Really good activation. I want to get more into dips. I'm absolutely shit at dips. Fucking so triceps later on with that one. But again, pec deck. I absolutely love pec deck. I find it a lot more activation out of pec deck than I do out of, for example, cable flies.
Yeah.
Like set medium, obviously going up. High cable flies, I don't get a lot out of. I don't feel much of an activation, but obviously low set ones, really good activation. And again, triceps for me, again, I want to get better at obviously dips. It's something I need to push myself more on, but whether it be
we're just talking strictly about how would you just set up these training programs?
Literally for me,
So when
compound straight away, then everything else thereafter. Get the most taxing one done straight away.
So it would essentially go on any day, your compound movement, then isolation movements for your major muscle groups. So you've got like bench press, then you go on to like your flies or like your chest press, then you move on to your triceps because they're a minor muscle group. They don't require as much, so you can train them when they're fatigued. They're also trained. The only reason we put triceps in with your chest and shoulders, because any chest exercise does involve your triceps in some form, and every exercise that you do in a shoulder, tricep or chest exercise is always a pushing motion. So your triceps are always going to be contracted, your shoulders are always going to be contracted. In an incline bench press, you've got your chest as your major primary mover, you've then got your shoulders and your triceps as supporting muscles that are worked. They're not specifically targeted, but they are supporting muscles that are worked. So that's that. And then like you've got a back day where you structure maybe, again, your deadlift is your compound movement, then some laps. And just remember, when it comes to back as well, you've got it's not like your chest where you've just got one muscle group, which is your pecs. You've got like everything. You've got your trapezius, you've got your lower lumbar, you've got your lats, you've got your ramus dorside or something dorsides. You've then got your rear delts. So all of these you need to come up with exercises that are going to target these muscle groups in specifically. So shrugs for your traps. You've got reverse pec deck for your delts. You've got a close grip row for your trapezius. You've then got lat pull downs for your lats. You've then got deadlifts, which help with your lower lumbar, your lower back. And then with legs, you've got your quads, hamstrings, and your calves to do exercise for. So that's like doing squats at the beginning to work on your everything. Then like leg press or quad extension, and then going into like a lay and hamstring. Rep ranges, again, completely down to you. I wouldn't go any sort of compound exercise. I wouldn't go over 10 reps with.
For me, it's usually 6 to 8.
Yeah, 6 to 8 is a good hypertrophy range. And then you've kind of got like your isolation exercises, which you can go a little bit like more reps on, so about 12 to 15. I would never take an exercise up to about 20 reps. If I'm hitting 20 reps, I'll increase the weight till I can get to 15. That's what I would go for. So look, our rep range for every workout usually stays the same. Yeah, it's usually 3 sets of 8 reps on our compounds, and then we've got like, it varies between 12 to 15 reps on everything else.
Yeah, just like I say, usually it's with me, you move up the weight 3x6, then go 3x7, 3x8, move up the weight again, drop back down. Then obviously, like you say, your accessory ones 12 to 15.
Yeah.
Usual.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Anything else you want to add to that? Like, it is all going to be down to trial and error.
It's literally, and again, it's with anything, it's all right. I mean, how we are now, because I've got someone around. For me, I never thought to look on YouTube, but don't sit there confused doing the same shit day in, day out. If you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always got. Yeah. So from that respect, don't be afraid to ask. I mean, if there is PTs kicking around, and we've got enough people in our gym where we can, I can ask if I'm not with you. I mean, have a good look. It is daunting going on your own, and obviously, it's, like I say, it is one of them where just have a fucking good look. And if your memory, like my memory shit, the amount of times I've got in the gym and I stand there and it's just like, not so much now, but before it's like, fuck, okay, I've gone in with a plan of what I want to do, and I've got there, and pretty much every piece of equipment that I've wanted's taken.
Make a plan for your plan.
Exactly. Again. It's just like shit. So for me, I've got a little document on my phone, and it's got like chest and triceps, back and biceps, legs. I've even got it where at your work, I've got my own, because of what machinery's at yours, I've got a separate list of what I can do at yours. I mean, go in with some degree of, I mean, I see people walk in with like old school notepads and shit. And I'm like, I couldn't be bothered to carry that
I
around.
used to do that.
Got it on my phone. That's good
Something
enough
different
for me.
about writing it down.
See, for me, I got it on my phone. That's good enough for me. But being able to physically look at it and go, okay, well, I was planning on doing incline bench, but all the benches are taken. What can I do?
And rather than sitting around for 5 minutes waiting for them to use it.
Exactly. I was going to go on pet deck. What can I do? Well, actually, do you know what? Fuck pet deck off. Go to cables if cables are free. If cables aren't free, what can I do? Okay, there's options. It's just making...
Your phone that went off.
That's mine.
Cool.
Just making sure that you're not stuck there waiting for people to get off machinery to basically... You lose momentum. You're losing enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And obviously, yeah...
And also, like, if you're ever in the gym or ever, like, hanging out with someone and doing a podcast, like, motivation can be dropped if they're just ignoring to go on their phone or whatnot. If you're listening to the podcast, Carl's sat on his phone now.
Shut up.
Doing work-related stuff.
It is work-related
This is
stuff.
Work-related stuff.
It is work-related stuff, and you've got people messaging just silly things during work.
How do you work out 2 plus 2?
7.
So that would be like what I would implement into a program. Again, the next section is going to come down to research and trial and error again. So everything we've discussed, we've given you the terminology you need to know. We've given you the names of exercise you need to know. Now it's going to be just to do your own research. And this could be through some we talked about a lot in our, nutrition misconception podcast, where we talked about like credibility and like doing your own research and how important it is to find and almost research what you're researching in the daftest way possible. So if you're like, YouTube's a good resource for finding like what training programs and what training splits there are. I mean, one of the biggest names in fitness, Christian Guzman, did a whole series every single year. I think last year in 2017 he documented 90 days of his dieting for his summer shredding series, where he literally took you through nearly every one of his workouts. I mean, that's great for new people. You may not be able to follow his training program, but you can take these exercises, you can take these rep ranges, the advice he gives you, you can implement them into yours. And just stuff like this is perfect. You can follow these YouTubers and these influencers on Instagram, Snapchat, I was going to say LinkedIn, but you can't. And YouTube to sort of...
It's just a good way of getting new exercises, new ideas. Like I said, it's just a second set of eyes sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
You can become blind when you're seeing the same people in the gym doing the same shit. You end up falling into your own little rut, or not rut, but own little routine. And sometimes it is nice. I mean, when you're watching like Christian Guzman or Max Tuning or whatever, just be able to see you think, shit, I mean, I've never thought about doing that. Tricep exercises, that you wouldn't have thought of, whereas it's normal. It's nice to whack a variation on it. I mean, skull crushers fucking inclined on that. Yeah, I think incline on that. It was decline on that.
We used to do decline,
yeah,
we did incline.
Yeah, it's a complete different fucking feeling.
He sometimes gets confused between his ups and downs.
Yeah, a bit ups. Yeah, better watch.
He goes through his ups and downs,
Yeah, but like I say,
we all do in life.
Simple little variation. What I would never
subscribe
have thought
to my channel for positive motivation every week.
Don't. He's useless.
That will help with your ups and downs.
Positive mental attitude or just mental.
I'll give you more downs than there will ups.
That's fucking true. That's probably the most truth he's ever spoken. But yeah, like I say, just simple little things. Purely picking up on what other people are doing. It's good. It's good.
It's a real mean thing to say.
It's not a real... We're all about the truth here.
It's true, but...
it's true, but don't tell everyone.
Yeah, but like... So what have we got so far? So you've got your gym membership, you've got your training split sorted, you then know what your exercises and reps you're going to be putting into it. Again, we can only do so much on here. We can go for hours talking about our training program, the rep ranges we do and why we do it and all this shit. But again, we got an hour podcast because we don't want to bore the shit out of people.
The next thing is breaking that most fucking horrible moment. That's walking into the gym on your own. And it's like, for me...
fair enough.
It's one thing I wish I did first and foremost was going on my own. Because I went straight in with someone. And whether we were doing shit, right, wrong, whatever, I had someone there as personal backup, if you will, to take that, to share the daunting moment with me. Although what that created was a mentality that if he bailed out on me, I wouldn't fucking go. Because horrible. It felt genuinely horrible walking into the gym on my own. It's like the only way I could describe it is I could describe to you. It was like when you watch Western movies and they walk into a saloon
And everyone looks around.
The music stops and everyone looks around. That's how it felt. It wasn't. That was purely just in my fucking head. But that's how it felt. Now, obviously, the flip side of that, where if I'd accepted that I was going to go to the gym because I wanted to get healthy and I wanted to change myself, and I was doing it for me, and it was then a case of he was coming with me or he joined me on occasions, it would have been a completely different spin on it. But because it was we were going to the gym together, if we didn't go, and because he bailed out, I wouldn't go, and I'd find an excuse which would then lead me to an evening of either fucking I'd be pissed off, which going back
binge eating
wasn't necessarily binge eating, but it would be my mentality would be, well, fuck it, what's the point if he's in it? And it was like I had to at some point take ownership, do you know, and say, well, fuck it, just because he's bailed out doesn't mean that I can't go. And walking into the gym for the first time on my Todd was the worst. It genuinely felt horrible. But the first probably 2-3 times I did it, it got easier. And then obviously you get used to training with someone, and then so I know it's nice. I said to you the other day, it's nice to sometimes going on your own because you get a bit more of a pump because the rest times are shorter in between, and
it's just also good to be in your own head, listen to music and just drone out, rather than whenever we train, it's like no headphones, listen to the shitty gym music, listening to
it's fucking awful.
All these pricks around us making grunting noises when they're only squatting like 2 kilos. But yeah, it is good to just sort of break that mold, get a bit of like, get to yourself.
Just for me, I would just say make a conscious effort for your first couple of times to try get on your own, so you've experienced straight away the feeling. It's personal preference. For me, I would for me, talking from my experience, I would have rather have gotten I would rather have gotten how it felt. I mean, the experience of going on my own straight away, got it out there.
What I would say,
purely so for me, I knew what it was going to be like.
What I would say is, if you know someone who has either been to the gym for a while and knows what they're talking about, go with them a few times.
Oh, shit,
but always be prepared that you will inevitably have to go to the gym on your own at some point, and just prepare yourself. So things you can do, get there 10 minutes before they do, so you're used to walking into the gym on your own and being seen as you're on your own. So that way, that's the hardest part that I always found. I've never found it uncomfortable to go to a gym or be in a gym on my own, despite the fact that I'm small. It's something that's never bothered me from the day that I started training till now. I've never felt uncomfortable being in a gym on my own. I never really gave a shit. I've always just focused on myself. Even nowadays, where I walk in the gym on my own, I'm 5'3" and only weigh 65 kilos, and I'm surrounded by like a bunch of people. Man, I know I can outlift most of these fuckers anyway. I'm there to do my thing and not to make myself look pretty in front of them. So that's always been my
like I said to you, my ones, obviously I'm at the other end of the scale. It's like going with a smaller person like you. You bench more than me, you squat more than me. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, honey, I squat more than most people at that
gym.
Fucking,
But yeah, but it's like, but that's what I'm saying. So
if you're listening, he's whacking one out.
If you're watching, no, fucking not. But yeah, 5'3", fair enough. But then from the other end of the spectrum is, I'm 6 foot, I weigh more than you, and it's just like I'm squatting more than you, I'm benching less than you.
You're not squatting more than me.
So I'm squatting less than you, I'm benching less than you, I'm incline benching less than you. So
I have experience though.
But I'm at the other end of the spectrum where people look at you and go, "Oh, he's small. What's he doing here?" And then I'm at the other end where I should be benching. I should be perceived to be benching more than you.
People will perceive if they saw the two of us. Well, it all depends.
When they see me taking weights off the squat, when they say it's embarrassing. It's almost demeaning on bench more so when fucking I'm and then you deal with that shit. But it's almost demeaning when you get people. Good. You did good, mate. It's like fucking. It's no different when we see incline chest press. I used to love it on the machine, but you'd always get that one person who walked past you when you're at the bottom end of your pyramid, where your arms are all fucking shaking, and you've got like a 10 kilo.
It's always a really attractive girl, and then she looks at you, and you're like, I swear I can do more than
she's
this.
like, why can you walk past 5 minutes ago?
I swear I've got something left.
Yeah. But that's just it, though. But it's embarrassing almost taking weight off when you're with someone who's smaller like yourself, but you can just fucking pow through the weight you've got.
I always see it as like a motivator. Like one of my old friends, Andy, that I used to do like benching with, I think he used to leg press like 350 kilos for sets, Well, not for sets. I think the most he ever did was 8 reps. Same thing with Dave.
Still a good fucking
Same
set,
thing
though.
with my friend Dave, who sent me about like his max thing was like 370 kilo leg press for like 6 reps, and I was like, well, fuck this. I did 385 for 8 reps.
Yeah.
That's how I always see it. Like, I understand in a sense that like when I used to train with my brother, it would be like taking weights off. I can lift more than him now. Just saying. Now it's like I am in that position where it's the opposite way around, where people are now. But I think if you are training with someone and they are new to the gym and you're just listening to this for the shits and giggles, make sure you're being nice to them, alright?
Don't be like us, cunt.
You don't know what they're going through. Don't be me.
Don't be him. Don't be cocky.
I don't reckon you'll ever be me.
You'll be glad you're not him either.
I'm a 10.
Out of 100.
Mate, that's still 1/10 better than you.
1/10, just for you.
But yeah, so just be prepared to go on the gym on your own. That's the point we were trying to make.
It's daunting, but it gets better.
Yeah.
More so after you train with this cunt.
Yeah, man. So there's not really, other than like knowing your training split, knowing what exercises you're going to do, knowing resources that you can go on. So like I think bodybuilding.com, perfect place to download a free workout program. Actually, motherfuckers, my website is the perfect place to download a free training program. Bodybuilding.com have 2 programs. It's called Blueprint for Mass and Blueprint for Cut, I think it's called. They're both training programs.
See how he does his research.
They're both free. No, it's something Greg told me about ages ago, and I briefly went on it, but I don't know whether it's called like Blueprint to Cut or Blueprint to Deficit. It's one of the 2. But then I also have 2 free training programs on my website that are they're simple and easy to follow. So if you do want to download a training program, I'll put the links to bodybuilding.com so you can go over there and check them out, but I'll also put the links to my website and my training programs that are going to be down in the description. So make sure you check them out. My website's also getting a revamp at some point soon, so be sure to look how beautiful it is. But there's always free programs that you can download. You can always message Instagrammers, and some of them will give you a response, just some advice. But you can do your own research, find out again how much time you can dedicate to the gym, and just make sure you're going in there and you're actually putting 110% effort into it. Make sure you're improving every single session. Make sure your exercise selection is fine.
Just make sure your time limit as well, mate. Especially make sure it's achievable.
Yeah, man.
Don't go in there thinking, right, I'm going to plow 2 hours into it. Then an hour later, you realise actually, do you know what? It's a lot more taxing than you thought. You're fucking knackered. Don't feel shit on yourself if you feel like you've only half-assed it. As long as you can tell that you've expelled effort and you know that you're tired because you've put in a decent workout. So I've gone and done back sessions before where I'd planned for it to be like an hour and a half, but because the gym was quite empty, I'm like 45, 50 minutes in and like, shit, I'm done. And I felt like I've needed to try fluff out the time to almost justify in my head that I've been there long enough, even though I've done in 45, 50 minutes exactly what on a normal kind of packed gym day would have took me an hour and 20.
Yeah.
If you finish it early, fucking bonus, mate. Go home, relax, have a bath, and fucking
have that extra 45 minutes to
yourself.
pop to McDonald's and have a Burger King.
You've
have
earned
a
it.
double cheeseburger. You've just worked off all those. We're joking. We're fucking joking.
Yeah, don't be one of those.
Don't do that.
Who 5 minutes on a treadmill, you can eat what you want for the rest
Actually,
of the
where
day.
you work, isn't it? There's a gym to your right and McDonald's to your left. The amount of people you see walk out from one into the other
all day, or the other way around. I've seen people walking to the gym eating bags of Doritos.
Yeah.
I've seen walking to the gym eating a McDonald's breakfast, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? But yeah, but like I say, it's one of those where if you have allotted 2 hours or an hour and a half and you finish it early, maybe it's not because you've half-assed it. Maybe it's not because you've been lazy. The gym may just have been fucking empty, and do you know what? You've actually been able to get on everything you've wanted, or you felt stronger than you were planning on, if you will, and you've managed to do it and kind of, just a little simple cutting your rest time down a bit. Sometimes, you do get people there with stopwatches or fucking on the phone, and they will time their rest periods. Sometimes you feel you're good to go quicker.
Yeah, I always go by body. What do I feel?
Some days, like I said,
I need 4 minutes in between squats.
Yeah, I was saying yesterday we were fucking for how long it took us. But then, like I say, it's one of them where I've gone in hour and a half session and I've been done in 45 minutes. Don't feel shit on yourself. Embrace it. Embrace the fact you've just gained yourself 45 minutes to do what the fuck you want. Hide from your missus.
Yeah.
Hide from the kids.
Yeah.
Go sit down the beach.
have a McDonald's, anything.
Don't
anything.
Don't have a McDonald's.
So, an also good one is I'm actually doing a new YouTube series on my YouTube. Well, I say it's new. It's like maybe the 3rd episode now. I'm going about like just the next year of bulking. I've never went on an official bulk for a good amount of time to put on a good amount of size. So I'm just like releasing videos every week, documenting what I'm doing, my training, my eating, what I'm buying, what kind of foods I'm consuming, how I'm gonna approach training and muscle growth, and then how I'm gonna like implement like mini diets and just to maintain some form of leanness before I actually start dieting again in February for next year's summer shredding show, which I competed in this year.
But you gotta wait till.
But you gotta wait till the podcast comes out. Fucking, I should hope it's out by now.
Fucking what, mate? It'll be out by the time he does the next one, at least.
You think?
You don't need a podcast. But it helps.
Really helps. So I think that's where we're gonna end it. We've sort of covered everything that I feel.
It's all about him, innit?
I feel like any new person to the gym should need to know. Again, if there's anything that you, as I say, if there's anything that you feel we haven't touched on, you would know it. So there's no point trying to research it, but just do your outside research. We can only do so much. We can only provide so much information before it starts becoming too long and too uninteresting. So take what you need, implement where you can, and do the research when and where you should be doing it. Any last words you want to give?
No, man. It's all good.
Man, last 3 podcasts, all you've done is just sat there. You haven't even bothered outroing.
I don't know what to say.
Tell them to like, subscribe, and leave me a review on the SoundClouds.
Like, subscribe, leave a review if you can find it on SoundCloud and YouTube. Smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button. Please don't comment about his hair. It is funky. We all know it.